Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Keepers League 3.27. In this episode, I'm going to be comparing the regular zombie versus the zombie of slamming and going over the major differences and why I choose zombie of slamming. To start it off, I want to talk about the regular one because we know about slamming pretty well. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, they separated the zombie into three gems. There's the regular one that doesn't slam, the zombie of slamming, and then the falling zombie where you drop the slam zombie onto the ground and it dies or something. Anyways, I need to start it off with this. So this one has minions have 40% more max life that scales with level. I need to mention that back in 3.8, which I believe was the minion patch where they buffed zombies and made them absolutely insane for Blight League. So what happened was they gave the zombie more life as the gem levels up to 38% more at level 20, which is literally this. And then it's 40 at 21. And then it also had extra cooldown recovery speed for the zombie slam as it leveled up. So it had both this one and this in one, and the slam was together. Okay? And then you didn't need the threshold jewel for Violent Dead anymore. And you could raise up to 7 at level 20. And then we have 9 at 34. And I think it's 8 at 25. And yeah, 7 at 20. Okay. Also, then they changed the zombie slam, the cooldown, the damage, the speed, the AoE, the damage of zombies across the board, removed the life per level, and it gained the AoE per level instead of just the cooldown recovery of the slam. So it got both of these after, but it didn't have the life anymore. Uh, then they changed it to make multiple gems, and they split it. So now you want to know slamming versus regular. Now I will point out there's one more thing you need to know. The slam of the zombie used to be unevadable. You couldn't evade it. It couldn't miss. It didn't need accuracy. That was one of the big benefits of the slam, is it didn't miss. Well, they changed it so that all minions attacks can no longer miss. So the normal punch is you can't evade it, and the slam you can't evade. So both of them are unavailable now. So that's not a difference anymore. But then, yeah, you want to know. Okay, so this one has the stat of 40 more life that scales with level. For fun, I can put it in here. It'll be missing 1, but it goes up to 67, and then it go up even higher with the extra +1 level from this. Okay, from the awakened minion damage. So then, that makes really tanky zombies. So for example, I'll also show, there's one level difference, but 134,000 versus 80,000, and that's just because of the mod of the more life, and it's missing a level. So, oh, well, I guess they both were missing a level because I took it out, but that was without the less life from the minion damage as well, but they both would have had it either way, so it's comparable. Then the other one gets the slam and the cooldown recovery rate and the AoE per level. Okay, so then people say, well, what about this one? Why do you use this ever, single target, etc.? Personally, I like the slam for the AoE. Also, the slam does like more damage than the regular attack, even though it's slower. It ends up being similar DPS while being an AoE. And then it has a pretty good uptime. And then you'll ask the question of like, okay, but what about when the zombie doesn't slam? What happens? Like, let's say it attacks too quickly and it goes on cooldown and now it can't slam. Well, actually, then it's the exact same thing as the regular zombie. It just doesn't have the more life. So if your zombies aren't dying, you don't need the extra life anyways. So you actually do want the slam because you get extra AoE, extra clear, extra damage, everything. And then you get to multi-strike it to kind of like cheat the cooldown to be able to get multiple slams out of it. and then tons of clear, and then even when you have them multi-striking the slam and you're running and then they teleport, and then they continue the slam as yeah, because they stop to slam, and then you, as you run, they teleport to you and they're still slamming mid animation, and then they clear. So it's really amazing. But then I'll tell you one of the big differences, I'd say. So when you use this one, like I say, the main thing is that it's for the more life, because you're really just losing the slam and there's really no other benefit. The other benefit that maybe you could argue is that because it doesn't slam, you could use melee splash support. So you could still use this on the zombie, but it's kind of pointless because you have the slam for the AoE. So, and it would only be doing it for the melee attack, which is only when it doesn't slam. So in this case, it doesn't slam and it's only a melee strike. So it's only punching a thing, and it can melee splash every time, consistently. But then you're giving up a damage support. And back in the day, there was an alternate quality melee splash. It was like Divergent or something, and it could have it basically be where you had full AoE damage. It didn't have the 40% less splash, basically. It was just 100% AoE damage. So that was actually cool, but that's gone. We don't have that anymore. That was Heist League, and they changed all that, and so all the weird alternate quality gems are gone because they didn't want to make SSF people farm the gems in Heist every season. And it was also because I played that hardcore character and then I died and lost all my gems, and it was like really rough. Like all my awakened gems, all the alt quality gems, it was crazy. It's actually, it is kind of real when you kind of need them to be build defining, but then they never replaced it. Like the awakened melee splash isn't the same, the normal melee splash isn't the same. It's never been replaced, so this is kind of just missing. We have a void, and then you could use behead, so it's a strike. So this supports the both. Doesn't work on the slam, but for the regular attack, you can get 0.4 meter extra range to the melee strike. So instead of 1.3, I think it goes to 1.7. And then it could do all the extra stuff like the damage and the stealing buffs and whatnot. But you could actually extend the range of the regular zombie, but none of this is worth it. You might as well just use the zombie of slamming is the major point. And then really the reason to go with the regular zombie is for the extra life. So maybe in the early league, or you don't have slamming, or you want the extra survivability on the zombies or whatever. But overall, the slamming is amazing because you just get the extra damage, the extra clear, the extra ability, and you're only really giving up life because none of the other stuff is important enough to matter. The case where this would be better is if you had a better melee splash, or if there was ultra giga dense content that there was just where you could melee splash all the time, and the slam would still be good in those scenarios, but there could be a benefit of melee splash over it, of like if there's so many mobs that you're getting multiple splashes off a single attack, then you're multiplying the damage. But it's not really like, it's not really a thing, because even delving, it ends up being like boss. Now we have uber bosses, the T17 bosses. They're single monster, you can't really splash. Like there was a time when they added a thing you could like put down an orb and then it could splash, and you could use spiders with this orb and splash, and that could get giga damage with the divergent splash, but you had to physically click a button to put down an orb to get the splash. And then it was a bug too, because it wasn't supposed to do more than one splash, but it was just constantly going off, and then they changed it to only do one, so it's not going to be a damage boost after. Yeah, so basically it's nearly a no-brainer that the zombie of slamming is actually incredible. Like I say, the slam does more damage too. It may attack a little bit slower, but then it balances out that it's basically the same DPS as the regular attack, and then that you get the extra AoE, and then it can hit tons of targets, and you don't have to give up a damage support for melee splash. And then you still have the regular default attack. the melee strike, the regular one, and it still gets supported by your entire link, so it's not like you're running bad links to support the slime that aren't supporting the regular attack. So they still punch too, and really you're just giving up the more life. This is, it's really cool. And then, like I say, if you go back far enough, technically the zombie had the more life and the cooldown recovery rate, and then gained the extra AoE, but lost the life later, and then they split it completely. Oh, man. Rest in peace, my zombie dude. Why is there 3 of them? Dude, god damn it. But, yeah, I hope this helps anyone who was wondering about, the regular zombie versus the zombie slamming, and answers that question and helps my viewer out. If you guys have any other things you want to know, comment in the comments below of any other comparisons or questions or things you would like me to go over, especially with minions. Well, either way, if you guys have made it, if you've ever used zombies, like the video, and if you guys made it to this part in the video and you liked it, you've used zombies, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you guys are notified of the next videos, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.